Howdy mates, good afternoon, happy Wednesday. It is September 22nd, 2021, and once again made another return to the Stump Pass Beach State Park, and there were a couple of other plants that I noticed along the way while I was here that I still haven't made a video on, as a matter of fact. So without further ado, let me teach you guys. So here we go. So I noticed as I was walking through, I found this guy right here. So some of you may have seen these all over the place, or some of you may already even know the name of it. But for those of you who don't know, this guy is known as crow's foot grass. And what's fascinating about this particular plant is it's actually a true grass. So with that being said, you know, along the stem here, it's a bit more round, and oftentimes the stem is hollow on the inside. But what's particularly fascinating about the plant is they call it crow's foot grass, because you see all these seedlings along the top here. Kind of resembles looking at a crow's foot, you know, as in the American crow, for example. But here's what's fascinating. The crow's foot grass is not even native to Florida. Yet it's kind of like on the borderline of being considered invasive or just non-native. But here's the thing. With that being said, these guys are basically considered a pioneer species, which basically means that in any open area that is available, they will plant themselves there. As you saw, like on that head, there were probably a couple of hundred separate seeds coming from the grass. So basically, once it sprouts, it has that capability of reproducing. But yeah, in terms of its native region, these are oftentimes found in Australia. And actually, as a matter of fact, many people in Australia, especially in the city of Perth, like to use this as a common grass for their lawns. And it's also an excellent plant for anchoring, you know, especially the sand, as a matter. But not only that, but this plant also has some medicinal use too. So for instance, this plant has actually been used in helping with stomach pain relief, especially from mothers dealing with childbirth. And it's also even been used to help with kidney treatments, you know, the kidney health. However, though, there is a common trend that these grasses contain oxalic acid, which could contribute to kidney stones. So that's one thing that you have to be careful about when considering using this plant medicinally. But then it's also even been used to help with fevers as well, like as in a decoction with a juice. So yeah, this is the crow's foot grass, and as you can see, it probably grows up to 2 or so feet tall, maybe even 3. Okay, so now here we go. We're gonna move on to the next plant. Alrighty. Here we go. We got our second plant right here. This is something called a Coastal Beach Sandmat. So you could say it has a bit of a long name, but it falls under the genus of Euphorbis, or Euphorbia, something of the sort. But with that being said, Euphorbia is basically named after a well-known Greek doctor who went by the name of Euphorbus, He was like a common doctor during, you know, the famous Greece times. You know, like back in the early 100 AD or so. But what's fascinating about the plant is, since it does fall under the genus of Euphorbia, most of the plants falling under that, they produce this milky sap. So let's actually pull like one of the stems. So right there, you see that? You see a bit of that white dot at the stem there? That's that milky sap. So rest assured, by no means is this plant in relation to milkweed. That's a totally separate species and even genus too. Even though it produces this milky sap does not mean it's related to milkweed. Just keep that in mind, mates. But milky sap, you want to avoid consuming this, as it is essentially poisonous, and it's even like a skin irritant upon exposure to wounds or just even skin in general. So you really want to avoid coming in contact with that sap. So just keep that in mind as well, in case any of you are trying to manage this plant or remove it. So it's just best to wear gloves and wash your hands afterwards. But these guys, they typically grow in clusters, as you can see, and with that being said, that's part of the reason why it's called the Coastal Beach Sandmat. But they produce these very small, let me see if I can, there we go. You see like those tiny flowers at the top? Like right up here? Yeah, those are common too. Those usually bloom as it approaches in the summer. But now we're actually getting into the fall. And for us fellow Floridians, that really doesn't make a difference, does it? Not at all. But yeah, that's the Coastal Beach Sandmat. And same thing, it has a mechanism to also help with basically anchoring any of the sand that's here. And that's usually the type of soil they like. It's well-drained, sandy soil. Ooh, it's a toasty one. And I also want to mention with you guys, I did make 2 videos here yesterday. However, one of them I was able to upload on Facebook, but my second one, which is a bit longer, and I talk a bit more about estuaries and climate change, that video is slightly longer, but that's only uploaded on YouTube. I had some technical issues uploading it on Facebook. So, if you're still interested in watching that video, please do, because it's a good one. It's the longest one and most in-depth video I've made so far pertaining to estuaries. So, please, if you really want to check it out, just go down like the feed on my pages and you'll see it. And it's very easily accessible too, and it's really worth your time because it really pertains to all of us. So it really involves that why we should care aspect. And not only that, but it also gives us a higher understanding of estuaries in general and why they should not be taken for granted. So, okay, you guys. Hope you learned something of value from the video. Hope it was worth your time. And for those of you who follow my pages, thank you once again. I've kind of been in a difficult spot, you know, these past couple of weeks, you know, just trying to still get that piece of experience, whether it be volunteering or internships. But it's like, you know, you're kind of in that position where you still have to make money. And sometimes you just gotta do what you can, you know? So, and that's why I've been trying to run this page as well, so that I can still educate and get to do what I enjoy doing. So in case if any of you know any people around here who may not know about my page, you're more than welcome to mention with them. But yeah, I mean, I'm just doing what I can. Gotta make the best with what you have. So, thank you guys for watching, and hope you enjoy your wacky Wednesday. Once again, Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks. See ya.